They say beauty's in the eye of the beholder. The very essence of beauty you hold her within. Every crack and crevice you hold her. You're beautiful is what holds a seed.
But I will say this though, like some people are very, very extra. I guess when they're very involved. I know I'm talking about involved in church. I don't
matter. You in the grocery store, you
I've seen a woman pray over which watermelon to buy because she wanted it to be right.
See, that's too
much.
Hey, Lord, let it be a good right one. Oh, shout out.
I said this one right here so you can go.
This your seed. It's a seed in the ground.
This is the watermelon for you.
This is it.
That's too much.
I was real mad. She took the one I wanted.
She took the one you wanted.
Had you already plucked it?
Yes, but she was sitting over there praying over it. You know, I didn't want to.
If it make a sound.
Okay.
Oh no, it just looked really green. I didn't pluck
You go
it.
by
Color.
But like, you know what?
I'm not a real fruit. I just pick it and hope it's sweet. I don't know.
But you know what? Black people, we do have certain things that we do. Hey y'all, welcome to the Melanin Pot. While you're here, we're gonna kind of discuss.
Not why you're here.
We have a wonderful guest, Miss Jasmine Spears.
Hi guys.
In the building.
We welcome you into this place.
Yeah,
Come on.
We welcome you to stir the pot with us a little bit.
She stirs the pot on her own. If y'all follow her on Instagram,
Oh, don't do that.
she got like your most recent post for the Father's Day.
Yeah.
Getting the people ready.
Yeah.
Now, what was your post?
And it's about extraness, actually.
It was in order.
About the bitter baby mamas who be like, I was both the mom and the dad. No, you.
She had a nice little post with different chairs.
Because do you want the black one, the tan one, or the white one? Because all colors matter. You need options.
So they say.
All of them.
Just
Because
take a seat.
you had your day. You had a whole Mother's Day.
And most time that carries out to a whole month.
Doesn't it? Because they still have Mother's Day cards. I was in Target looking for a Father's Day card, and they still had Mom's cards out. I was like,
sis.
you can put these away. Mom had her day.
Right.
That's true.
So my thing is this, we talk about the watermelon and stuff. Do y'all think that black people tend to be a little too superstitious, or do you think that's just a nuance? I mean, not a nuance, but just a part of our essential.
I really think that's just a part of us, because you got to go all the way back to slavery, okay? We have a reason to be a little superstitious, have a little eyes. We got a reason to have mean mug on our face.
Do you think it just go back to slavery?
I mean, it probably go back to
They was plucking watermelons back then. Just some things I just
It was
we have to leave because the ancestors ate chitlins. I don't have to eat chitlins today because they did that.
True.
They did that for me.
Not they did it.
They
Some
did.
stuff we gotta take in.
With little hot sauce
and move around.
No, they did that because they didn't have much.
Right.
We have plenty.
Come from
And they made a meal.
We don't have to eat the poop part of another animal to.
I can eat my hot dog with white bread. That's my
I
struggle.
don't eat hot dogs.
And it has to be
Turkey dogs.
I
I don't do beef anymore.
So
I gave it up for Lent.
what is something that was superstition or something that maybe your family did and they kind of said it was a cultural thing, but you like, that might not have been.
Don't put your purse on the floor. And then, when I ask why,
she said
they be like, you end up broke. And I'll be like, well,
I'm already broke, but I'm not going to take no chance.
And then if I put it on the table, y'all might get food on it.
Oh, you so it gotta around that Miss Chanel.
Oh, no, it'd be like $10 purses, but all coins matter. So treat my $10 like it's $100, make it stretch.
That's
stretch.
True.
What about you, Jay?
I'm not good with none of that.
I'm
my own person. I don't care. You can
so grandma didn't do something in that, like don't turn the electricity on when it's raining outside, like stuff like that.
Stuff like that, I don't even pay attention to.
Yeah.
I really don't.
I didn't have weird grandparents like that. Like open the Bible so the Lord don't strike you. That's weird.
No.
My grandparents didn't do none of that.
No.
My grandparents, they believe in the word, but my grandma showed dips enough and cuss you with the same and give you a Sunday school lesson at the same mouth.
But some people be like, back in the day, grandmother would be like, you have to sit down with the Bible and do what? Because I can't read in the dark. So.
No, that's right.
I don't know.
Lord, be a light unto my path.
I have heard, and I don't think it was necessarily just superstition where my family's from Louisiana. I think it was just
Louisiana.
Yes. We ain't, deep south. We got family deep south Louisiana, but we central Louisiana.
Not central.
There's a difference.
There's a difference.
I wouldn't know.
I wouldn't know either. I'm right here from Arkansas.
Well, anyway. Regardless, but I think it's just they were kind of country areas, so
Yeah.
you didn't really need to risk the electricity, you know, by having it on and running, and then it hit the lightning rod wrong,
Then
and
stuff
then we
go
got all
out.
the power out, or it blew a fuse altogether.
I can see it.
So I can see where they said it, but then I have another grandma who lives in the city. You didn't turn nothing on. You let God do His work, which
God do his work.
so I
Listen.
think it's in reference for that.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, I need God to do His work, and I need the city to get the lights on. So God and the
We need
city have to
everybody to
work
work together, right?
simultaneously.
We
Yeah,
For the good
on one
of
accord.
those that serve
Come
God.
on,
Yeah.
amen,
Okay.
amen.
Just even speaking of stuff that was superstition, we can even just talk about stuff that was, we're not gonna talk about that.
Yeah.
A lot of
sweeping.
stuff that's just-
Black families got that
Under
bad.
the
You know,
rug.
something happened, we
Yeah.
don't, we're not gonna address it. Like you look in all the Tyler Perry movies, it's that woman who
It's-
had that baby and gave it to her
And-
sister. Her mama had
Yeah.
it.
But it's not even a matter of like in the case where he was talking about, ancestral rape, like it's even if she made the mistake of having a baby, sending her off
Yeah.
and bringing her back with no baby, like
They didn't play them games back in the day, and it's crazy on a lot of stuff that goes on in the black community as far as when you look at your grandparents or your own parents. It's like, dang, y'all didn't really discuss that, so now it's harder for people to parent
Right.
because they didn't have that. So it's like, oh, we didn't really discuss sexuality.
and
Right.
that's accessible everywhere.
Yeah, and even my parents say that times are different. Not that they didn't have different sexualities, but it wasn't as in their face as it is now.
Right.
But I mean, you just raise. Don't break it. Raise your children to be. I don't think tolerant is the word that I'm looking for, but accepting, because people are people regardless of what their sexuality is, and you may not agree, but at the end of the day, if I cut you, you still bleed, and you need to be cognizant of that when you're interacting with people. Like,
Yeah, that's a good point.
I just feel like black people, typically black church folks, and I always hate to talk about my fellow Christians, but we can be the worst sometimes because we only want you directing our choir or doing our hair or watching our kids, but when it comes to like having a relationship, like knowing you, letting you into our circle, we cut you off because you don't want that to be exposed. But with loving kindness have I drawn thee, right? So we have to reach everybody where they are in order to make
28:16. Therefore,
a
go ye
difference.
out
There
into
you
all
go.
people,
You better know
teaching
your
all
scripture.
And half
Come
of us
on.
can't go out and get people.
You better know your school.
You gotta have a
Bible.
word when you go out.
Don't
Yeah.
you? Come on, we
But
got
half these
this.
people can't go out and get anybody because they don't have anything.
They don't
to
have
give
no
them.
word.
They don't have
Not
anything
even no
for
word.
that.
People don't even have
Well,
basic
yeah.
necessities as far as kindness because their grandmothers or their parents treated them like crap growing up. So they have to, people. Shout out to Amy, Dr. A. Amy always used to say, "What's in your emotional backpack?" People carry so much stuff in their emotional backpacks, and then you're 50 years old trying to wonder why your relationship's not working out with your kids or what's not with this man you can't get to act right. It's because you have so much emotional baggage that you have not taken the time to deal with.
To unpack
and black
all
people,
that.
we have that bad,
And
and
we
that's why
hold
we
on.
go just carrying. Oh, here go my baggage.
Yeah.
Here go a little bit here.
Yeah, and we want to carry that load. One thing that one of the people that I follow on Facebook, and I don't always agree with him, but Nathaniel Baker brought up, is it fair to say that with everything that black people go through, just living an everyday life, and we're not even just talking about people who are in the struggle in the hood, but with everything, even somebody that came up more prominent, came up with a little more economy, just being a black person, shouldn't that give you enough PTSD? And I agree with him. I really do agree with him. Yeah, I think that there is a PTSD in the black community that nobody's wanting to treat because we sweep under the rug mental health. We sweep under the rug. Don't go to a counselor.
Right.
Don't tell nobody our business.
Right.
Like that is the worst thing to me. Like that. Don't tell nobody our business.
Right.
Yeah.
Like
Especially when it's not helping. Like, this is what stays in, you getting beat up, your mama getting beat up at home, but, what happens in this household stays in this household. Well, that's not healthy for the kids, it's not healthy
Right.
for her. So in the long run, I can definitely see where those situations can definitely take a turn for the worse. You've got people who've seen their moms die in front of their eyes just because we got to keep our business
to the house.
Yeah.
And I think you have to start those conversations fairly early because you think about people who like children who grow up in that environment and they don't know anything different. So one, that can either become their norm, or two, they may be so afraid that they don't know what to do, right? And if mom isn't like, hey, go get some help, or mom is probably
Let's
like,
talk about
or just not having that conversation, those children grow up holding on to all of that because they didn't know that there was another outlet that was available to them. So
That's true.
So what are some of the ways that you all personally have been able to kind of pull things up under the rug? Like pull maybe something that you've been through from up under that rug, sweep it out, and not necessarily go and vacuum it up, but just say, here's the dirt that's been in this house.
Oh, yeah.
Like, what are we going to do about this dirt, that's here? Like, what are we doing?
I think when I think about my personal family, my mom was very good in having conversations with us early. She kept it real. My mom, she dealt with she was Sunday school teacher, so she's been teaching kids before she had kids. So she dealt with other people's children, so it kind of helped her to deal with us, and then plus the way that she was raised. So we had those conversations early about, making sure that, you 100 with yourself, or things that's going on. My parents went through a divorce. It wasn't, oh, this is not really going on. My sister died. We had real conversations, things that happened to me or my brother. We had those real conversations to where it's like, okay, this is going on, this is going on. And so just from her in general and how she raised us, I just learned to be myself in general. And I think if you're black, number one, you always struggle with being yourself, I think, because you're looking at, people, if you're in a hood environment, you're like, if that's not you, you're trying to like, oh, let me be hood. Right. Because that's what everybody else is doing. Let me not be me. But I was the person who wore skinny jeans before skinny jeans was in. Then I wore Vans. When, I went from J's to the Air Force Ones to now I'm going to wear Vans. Like, what you doing? Forces. Right, the icy white ones, Yes. And so eventually I looked at Forces, but that became my face though. Like, why am I don't like this? Because my older brother did it. So my mother always gave each one of us, you are who you are, and own who you are. I love who I am, and I think that's why I'm so, I love me. But it's just the fact that, right. Not conceited, I'm confident.
Your somebody is very integrity.
Okay, man, yours is too
0 to 100 real quick. No.
Thank you. So I'm just saying, at the end of the day,
it's an eyeshadow.
Well, hey,
y'all sparkle, twinkle, twinkle.
Right. Anyway, but it's confidence and stuff like that really was instilled in us to, be your own person. So I didn't have to conform to my oldest brother because he had more of a hood, nigga look, and then mine was more of a... problematic. It's not problematic. My brother has a hood nigga look. Let's be clear.
I didn't say it was problematic. I just can't believe you said nigga.
Okay, yeah.
Nigga, we said nigga.
I must not be because I didn't even flinch. I was just like,
Pause. Do you not say nigga off camera? That's incorrect. Do you say nigga off camera?
I do.
Okay, so
do you have receipts?
Why would you say that off camera? But
do you have receipts?
You could have just said he has a hood look. You didn't have to say.
That's what I wanted to say. That's what came.
And that's what you said. I said
somebody watching gonna try to.
I said what I said.
Right. This don't stick.
Well, okay, go ahead with your hood.
When you address plus size gender, did it stick? When you just having sex on camera, did it stick?
Okay.
So it's done.
You so out of line.
It was.
This is why y'all need mugs, because I could have sipped some real tea
right
right
nice little lemon.
And if anybody is willing to sponsor any of apparel as well as merchandise for the Melanin Pot, please DM us or email us, themelaninpot@gmail.com. So
thank you for that little shameless.
Right.
Hey,
sponsorship.
We'll take all sponsorship. Thank you.
All sponsorships matter.
Household, anything.
That is my phrase for the 2017.
What's your phrase?
All whatever matters. All sponsorships.
We need to get that written up.
With the exception of all lives matter. That's not the slogan for 2017.
It's not.
Never will be. All right. So my family, we grew up very similar. We were allowed to express ourselves, obviously respectfully. So our parents definitely had those like weird conversations. My mom kind of started early with the whole sex talk just because of her background. I won't put her stuff on blast. Hi, Mom. But she started relatively early with me, like, about if somebody touches you, if someone does this, you don't listen. And I think that's one thing that I hear a lot is people, they say their parents are like, well, just do what they say and then come back and tell me, not in Tammy's house. You run like hell and you find an adult. So I think how you frame those conversations, like don't tell your children that it's okay to listen to people who are telling them to do things contrary to what you taught them, because it confuses them. And then they're like, well, Mom, you said listen to the adult. Well, that adult wasn't telling you anything fruitful to do, right? So my parents always came from that standpoint. Not that they shut out, what teachings from other people, but just knowing that there is a right and wrong,
Right.
and you don't teeter-totter. And if you feel like something is wrong, you need to say something. So that really helped. And now I just be out here giving people the business because my parents let me talk a
You
lot.
sure give them the business. Daily bread on Facebook.
Woo.
You give a daily bread on Facebook?
I've been slacking, but I try to give the people a word, because people are so mean and there's a lot of cruelty and a lot of. Trump is the president. That's the number one thing. Trump is the president, and people need love.
Baby.
So,
So you try to offer that. That's good. That's what's up.
What about you, Jacqueline?
Thank you, man. Nah. Oh, what about me?
No. What is something
That
you do to help pull things from under the rug?
I don't know. There's a lot of stuff under my rug. I can't say that I done pulled a lot of stuff out of there. I don't really do stuff that.
Well, one thing that I thought was really interesting was when you were Miss 586 on Miss Blue.
I guess that
Blue and
definitely
White.
was a
Blue and
release,
White.
I guess.
Yeah, I think that
When
was.
Miss Blue and White.
Yeah, so when I did that pageant 4 years ago, wow.
Yeah.
I did a monologue, and it was a true story basically about my mom passing away. So, I mean, but I was in a family where we talked about stuff, but I'm just a private person in general.
Gotcha.
So it's not that I wasn't in a space where I couldn't talk or I didn't have people to lean on and express things. Nobody was trying to tickle my vagina when I was younger or anything
That
like
wording.
that. So,
That's not funny. It's just
I
the
mean,
way-
no, I'm just, I didn't go through that.
What?
Because that's how they be talking to these little kids.
They do.
Like,
They
that's how
do.
they try to persuade
They try to-
them.
They do.
They
'Cause
talk
they
to
use
them like
friendly,
that.
safe words.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I didn't have stuff like that going on with me. But I mean, I went through stuff that I just don't talk about it.
Right.
But that's not because, I was raised that way. My daddy,
Deacon.
he real, so
Right.
he'll just put it. And my sister is even realer. She at the age of 10 telling us about sex in the most vulgar way ever possible that you can even think. Right. Bless our hearts, not hers. 'Cause she was crazy. So I mean, shout out to her. But yeah, so they always kept it real with us. I just don't talk about stuff.
You don't want people in your business. 'Cause,
I don't even know if that's what it is, because now that I'm older, I tend to talk to people more like my close friends. But I don't know. I like to tell people that I'm very transparent, but only if you ask. I'm that type of person. Like, I'm not finna just lay my whole life out in front of you.
Right.
But if you ask me, because I believe you telling your story can definitely help somebody
Right,
else,
right.
or
That's
whatever the case may be. So I don't mind sharing anything if I can relate to it, but I'm just not gonna sit here and spill my, you know what I'm saying? So, but I don't know. So that's my rug sweeping. This one thing that I do want to talk about rug sweeping. I was reading this post, and she was like, the girl said, I think it's really sad that a lot of people when we were growing up, if you ever noticed, people our ages, like we were 14, 15, they were always brag about having sex with older women. They were like, oh yeah, she 20 and I hit that.
Oh yeah, and he said that's definitely
That's right. You know what I'm saying?
definitely
But
right.
people,
That is
I don't know
right.
why. When we were younger, we didn't think about it like that. Like,
with girls that lied about
we
their
don't talk
age.
about.
because we don't talk about stuff
rape
like
and
that.
But
That's
because
for a man.
But we glorify that for a man.
Exactly.
For a man to have sex with an older woman, it's like, oh, you doing your thing. But we don't look at the moments where it's like,
Oh, you're 16
No.
and she's
And
21.
there's that
something wrong
stigma
with-
that there's still that stigma that men can't be raped.
Right.
and
So,
that's incorrect.
Wrong.
That's totally incorrect.
Super
Okay,
wrong.
so you can't tell me that when one thing I think that was a good unsweeping for that was Denzel Washington and Derek Luke, Antoine Fisher. Couldn't get that out.
Oh, okay.
Because I always interchange Derek
Oh.
Luke's name with Antoine Fisher.
I love that
so I'm trying to
movie.
make sure.
Yeah.
But yeah. Nigga. Sorry.
Dang.
That wasn't funny, but like I think that addressed a lot of the different aspects of a young black male, period, things that we don't talk about. Is it really okay for you to be calling a young black male in the house nigga? Oh, well, they're going to call him that in the street. But you need to be putting so much love in him that he doesn't adopt being a nigga.
That's true.
Or, the fact that you've been telling me you leaving this boy home and he's the only one that's being left at home with this babysitter or your daughter.
Right.
You think it's okay that she's raping or molesting him? You think it's okay for her to say, give me some sugar to a child, and she's 16, 17 years old? No, that's sick.
And I think that goes to the rug sweeping of men don't have emotion. And we've
Yeah.
made our black men so hardcore to where black
Right.
men can't show emotion or they can't, you know, be soft, or they can't be loving. And it's because a lot of people, they were trained not to love them. So it's kind of hard to where we, you know, go back and this is not an excuse for black men, but it is an eye-opener to say that, you know, black men always didn't receive love at home. And so they were sometimes treated as if nigga,
Right.
you know, nigga. So then when they get out in the streets, you know, then they have kids. For some of these people, they didn't have a responsibility to see somebody who really cared and stayed at home with them and showed effort in their extracurricular
Latchkey
activities.
kids.
Yeah, people just didn't care. And so when you have people who have kids and they don't know how to be a father, and they don't know how to show emotion.
Because they weren't shown.
They didn't want to
have
get there.
that.
When they have kids who have disabilities and they don't know how to be sympathetic to those certain issues, it kind of goes back to how they were raised. And that's why you got to be careful who you sleep with, number one. But we have to start also asking these questions.
Exactly.
Number one here.
That's very important. Me and a friend had that conversation. Like, when is it too soon to ask those type? I said, never, girls. Never too soon.
That's a part
Did
of
you come from an abusive relationship at home? You know, you have to ask that
Those
because
are
you
the first-
exactly.
First date questions. So,
Yeah.
no, I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
but for me, it was like, what kind of
sex, you need to be
how
asking
was
about
your
this
household?
stuff.
Did you grow up with two
Exactly.
parents or one parent?
Did your
Why?
dad beat
You know?
your
How
mom?
many
Because that
siblings did you
stuff,
have?
exactly,
You know
stuff
what I'm
like that
saying?
you gotta
Because
ask.
the thing is, you don't just be like, did your daddy whip your mama ass? No, you can't say that. But like,
Right.
It's a lead up question.
But it's a
Are your
lead up.
parents-
You have
are
to
your parents
create a
together?
space for that question to come out.
And that's the important part of that. I think that this is getting pushed under the rug. In sexual deviance, first of all, being homosexual is not a sexual deviance. That is their person's sexual orientation. So let me make sure that's clear before we have this discussion. But being a sexual deviant, as in being so free with your sexual activity that you're forgetting who you're letting inside of your body, who you're letting inside of your spirit. Because you run a lot of these young ladies are having babies and for no reason, because it's birth control. Plan B, those can be accessible for free. I'm not 100% for abortion.
Plan B free?
Yes,
Some clinics.
Some clinics
Very
do offer,
few, but you can
yes,
get some.
plus there are some in Pulaski
You shouldn't
County
have told the
that offer
hoes
free.
that.
I mean,
Oh my.
There's a limited supply, so please don't
don't
Please don't run it.
get you some birth control. Or don't have, sis, just slow down.
That's what I'm talking about.
Like this.
I know somebody just saw that. What?
They probably about to go run it.
phone call.
Right on.
start doing
Google,
some
where can I
research.
get baby for
But
free?
what I'm saying is, we need to be better about one, planning children. Two, stop. We need to
Yes.
stop.
Oh my God.
I think we have that really bad. I'm just
Well,
gonna speak for this.
How about we plan children? We don't plan children.
No,
anymore.
'cause we just have
Everybody
them.
is an accident.
Just
Everybody is an
popping
accident.
out.
Just have
You
it.
know, my
Jasmine.
nail tech, my nail tech in Fort Smith was telling me like they save money to have children. Like they plan out, they save their coins. When
Yeah.
they get their coins, they then have a window of getting pregnant. I said,
That's
girl,
smart.
you need to teach black people this because we just out here popping out all these
and
children.
Your nail tech's not black?
No,
No.
she's
okay.
I was gonna say Vietnamese. I think
Somewhere
that
over
is. Yeah.
She's
Yeah,
Asian of
Asian,
origin.
yes.
Yes, of Eastern.
That's smart.
And that's
very
how they used to do
talented.
it back in the day. You know, they used to plan children.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I can't 100% agree with that. I think babies came along after marriage. And they came along.
And that was the thing.
I can't say they sat there and said, "Oh, well, we."
They- yeah,
Well,
that's
no,
not-
well, I'm just saying, plan. I mean, when you get in a relationship, most times they talk about having kids.
But I think
so-
black people had that, like, marriage, let's have kids.
Yeah.
There was no marriage,
marriage.
financial
But-
stability, spirituality. Let's make
Right.
sure we on the same accord. Then
And
let's have
that's
children
gone
too.
because now people, and I think people, even if you don't subscribe to a faith or a deity or anything like that, it's just common sense that you want to have your house in order before you bring a tiny
somebody
human
else. That's what
into
I'm
the
saying.
world, right?
Exactly. You don't bring company over a dirty house.
You don't.
You don't. So what I'm saying is,
But they laying in these dirty beds.
Dirty beds, dirty lives, and
And-
bringing other people into them.
exactly.
And some of y'all freely going, seeing it is dirty over there.
Yeah, and I think that
That's tough.
that idea of not wanting to be alone, that idea of not wanting to be separated or uninvolved. I don't want to feel like I'm being by myself. Let me tell you something. You don't know you until you by yourself.
That's
God
right.
can't
So
even talk
true.
to you until you by yourself. If the
I'm
only
sorry.
time the Lord talk to you is in a dream, you got a problem with your spirituality. Because the Lord can talk to me while I'm driving my car.
That's
He
true.
talks to me at Dillard's when I'm at work. He talks to me at home. The Lord has
And in those moments of you being by yourself, you have time to settle in that rape situation, that bad relationship, or the abuse that you had to deal with.
You can work it out.
You got to be by yourself sometimes. And in those moments, we don't like being by ourselves. We always got to have a partner with us. We want to go kick it because we try to suppress the pain. And we always commend black people because we can definitely hold the pain. Yeah. That's not a good characteristic though to be proud about. That I can hold so much pain and it never get released and nothing never gets resolved in the person. That's not, and you carry that on to your children, and you carry that on to the people you have interactions with. So you got to be careful on the interaction that we have, and we can't just sweep everything under the rug and not deal with it, and sweep it in our hearts, because a lot of stuff is hidden in our hearts, and it comes out in how we talk to people, or how we treat our kids, how we treat our spouse, or why we don't have close loved ones around us who want to.
And those are everyday things. I didn't mean to cut you off, but those are things that people need to pay attention to. How you don't know this man ain't good for you when he talk crazy to his mama?
Yeah,
that was your number one sign right there. Exactly. Like, or if I'm at Walmart and I'm talking crazy to the cashier, that's a sign that I either, because people do have bad days, but don't take it out on the cashier people. You having a bad day, or maybe I'm just a rude person, and you still decided to approach me after I was acting a fool in Walmart. True. Like,
people show you.
But my thing is this: is there a sense that it's starting to seem like people, my thing is this: I think that we've gotten so sedentary in our lives that the active part of work from back in the day, they used to kind of help our bodies. Because, I mean, black people want to act like black people are the only ones out in the fields. And that was not true. That was not true. There were white people out in the field, too. But I'm just saying. They
wouldn't get their ass beat like us.
No, I'm talking about even after slavery.
Oh.
I'm talking about
let me know.
And they were exceedingly poor whites who were treated
it's always
like
poor whites.
No, in that time they were treated like slave casts. So
we ain't talking about them.
Okay,
that's not our agenda.
Okay, I got you. So okay,
you and I,
right?
We're not finna advocate for them.
I'm not gonna advocate, but I'm just saying. I'm saying it for my purpose that in general we worked outside, and so a lot of that emotion and stuff like that. We did. We got rid of a lot of testosterone. As men, I don't have testosterone, but men got rid of testosterone. You see what I'm saying? And then energies will work. So I'm starting to think that this sedentary lifestyle has caused less adrenaline throughout the day. And so then you have more people desiring that kind of adrenaline to where they want a dramatic person to get
go to the gym.
Well, I was just about to say, take your ass to the gym.
Get a sport. Get a hobby.
Go walking in your
languages. Like, it's a lot of stuff you can do.
Right, but there are people who chase after dramatic people.
No, and I feel like you have
something's wrong with you. That's my friend would say, that's a spirit.
That's
not
of confusion, and you're so used to chaotic and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's dysfunction.
Chase it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna put that on slavery, but I'm gonna say that's a problematic with your spirit.
That's just some people sleep under the rug.
And my thing is this: is just like, are you missing that adrenaline from your day?
Yeah, just drop that whole analogy.
I'm just saying. I'm not gonna drop it, but I'm just saying.
I don't know if it's necessarily like adrenaline, or people just some people just like drama.
That's true.
And that's just how they feel. And it's dysfunctional. Crazy. And it's crazy. I will never understand
There's
nothing healthy about it, but that is the only way they can function.
But that goes back to how they were raised, what they grew up around, who they surrounded.
They will give you signs. Because let me tell you, the number one lie that a crazy female will tell you is drama follows her. It doesn't. She follows it. Like drama, you attract what you put out. A man too, absolutely. You attract what you put out. Like, that's it.
And that's one thing we don't want to do either. We don't want to take responsibility for self.
You know what we got to take responsibility for? The next time you'll see us on the Melanin Pot. We will tune in again. We're going to have Jasmine back to do Rub Sweeping Part 2.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you guys for tuning in. Subscribe to the channel.
Until next time, thanks for tuning in to the Melanin Pot.